Okay, and we are back. We're back. Oh my gosh. I'm so happy to see y'all. You know, Kyndra Crump, host of Kendra's Corner. This is a podcast that is dedicated to these random polling questions that I think about, right? Um, there's some of them are my life questions that have happened to me, and I'm like, you know what? I really want to have more understanding. Um, just in general, right? Comes from Facebook, comes from Instagram, talking to the old heads, whoever. My rolling polling questions. And so you know what? I'm gonna go ahead because I know we got some people coming, some of the uh cast members, and we should probably have a new person who's gonna show up. Maybe a couple people. We gonna see how it's gonna go. But with that being said, let me go ahead and I can get into until they do come. Let me go ahead and get started with the questions. So, this first question was inspired by, this day and age of dating. And so I have had so many people who have asked me out cuz like, "Oh my gosh, she's really pretty, has a nice shape, literally like the jet beauty of the week. I want her, right?" So they'll start sitting here having these conversations with me. And they will really want to talk to me. And they'll be like, "Hey, I want to talk to you. I want to go out with you. I want, to like, hit me with these pickup lines." And y'all, I'm not gonna lie, I done just found out that pickup lines are not real. I really thought they was real. This entire time I kept thinking like, "Oh my gosh, he really does want to be married to me. Oh my gosh, like I'm really his woman." Like, but I realized pickup lines are not real. I don't here's a fun fact. I don't take social cues well. I really don't, but whatever. So this first question, this first question is, why is it that in this day and age, many men will go to the lengths of getting to know a woman and even asking her out, but will back out of going out with her by standing her up? So I'm gonna hit you guys with this real quick story. And Pimp done made his way through. I'm gonna let him get all settled in, and I'm gonna bring him to the stage. I remember this one guy. The most memorable one was this guy named, I think his name was like Joshua or whatever, and he came to my DM like 3 months prior. I ignored him. Then he came again. So I said, okay, let me see what he wants, right? And a lot of times, us as women, we end up blocking our own blessings because of the fact that we may not really like how that guy looks, or maybe the one thing that he says. So we ain't gonna respond to him, right? But I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and say something to him, get to know him and everything else like that. So he starts off pretty strong, like, how's it going? Once I finally did respond back to him, and everything, like I said, was cool. Then he says, what are you doing on Saturday? Would you like to go out? And I said, okay, let's go out on Saturday. So y'all, the day of, the day of, he says, so hey, what are you doing today? What am I doing today? Sir, we're supposed to be going out, right? We're supposed to be going out. What do you mean, what am I doing today? And so he said, okay, I just want to make sure that we still going out and everything. Yes, we still are. And at that point, y'all, I should have just cut the conversation and be like, listen, I'm not interested. You already doing too much for me. This is not gonna go nowhere. Okay. So instead, I kept having a conversation with him. I'm taking accountability. That's a word that a lot of women don't do. They that's a curse word to them. So I took accountability, and I just continued talking to him. And then he still hits me with these, hey, how's it going? He even asked me one day. He's like, I think maybe on day 3, like it was like I said, it was a Saturday. We're supposed to go out. By day 3 of this missed date. So what day are we on? Tuesday? He's like, so I know it's raining today. So like, how do you typically spend your rainy days? What? And I just told him, I said, bro, listen, I'm gonna keep real with you, man. Just stop talking to me. Well, why? Why should I stop talking to you? So I basically gave him this dissertation telling him bro, you literally had like I just basically just told him all about himself. How he literally, it's like, okay, somebody passes you the ball, wide open layup. Instead of you actually going to go take the layup, you pass the ball back. Could not understand for the life of me. He said he didn't say nothing, but he kept coming back, kept coming back. I'm like, listen, I don't know what wet dream you done had of me. I don't know if you got my picture saved as your screensaver. I don't know if you sit here and jack off to me every day. But sir, you need to go find something else better to do. And he wasn't a bad looking guy on top of that. He was not a bad looking guy. But what the heck? So let me go ahead. That was just a random. I'm gonna go ahead and get my answer. But my two guests have shown up. Like I said, the pimp showed up. He's here, and then we got another person, who this man is hilarious, or I feel like he is. We'll see what y'all think. Let's go ahead, bring Pimp to the stage. How you doing, brother? How's it going? How was life?
Hello, 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 everybody. I hope everybody's fine this week. Everything's good with me, Kyndra. How are you this week, sweetie?
Hey, it's I'm alive and I'm well in my right mind. Let me go ahead and bring the next brother to the stage. This guy, like I said, funny. I hope y'all like him just like I do. Let's bring him, Mahogany Davenport. Okay, the alias name. I love it. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing well. I just got in from work, so doing a lot of errands, but good.
Hey, I was
What's
running
going
the errands
on?
with you. I was running the errands with you. So I don't know if you guys kind of heard my quick little intro story of a most memorable, not the first time, but the most memorable time I've had a man to um get to know me, literally just going off the deep end with it. And he just like pretty much the day of, we still never went out. And then he kept trying to sit here and have multiple conversations. So, Pimp, I'm gonna go with you first, brother. Why do you believe that you have men who are like that? And it's not just this day and age. It's that's always been like that. Why do you feel like that?
I want excuse me. I want to make sure I get the answer to the question as well. So say the whole question.
Okay, so basically,
Go ahead.
so here's a question. Why is it that in this day and age, many men will go to the lengths of getting to know a woman and even asking her out, but will back out of going out with her by standing her up?
Well, everybody got their own probably little one day deals that they done been through that'll stop them from going so far, But in this age and generation, there's been so many disappointments, so many letdowns, and so on and so forth that a lot of guys will probably go right there to where they kind of want to be, and then a flag or something will pop up or something will take place, and then they just like, nah, man, that's why I'm who I am. That's why I do what I do right now. Blah 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 blah. And it's not just men. I've stated this before. I'm gonna continue to state this. Everything I talk about is the goose and the gander. You know, women are the same way. They got them things that they go on. They'll pursue a man and do everything they want to do. It try to get everything in order. Get right there. Some a flag will show up or something will happen, and boom, they're gonna bag out too. And a lot of us, if we would bag out when we see those flags, it'll stop a lot of more hurt. And other things on down the road. You know what I'm saying? But for myself personally, though, if I'm gonna put forth the time to get to know you, get forth the time to, if I even want to get into that situation, I already know where I want to go. I believe most people exactly what they want out of a person once they spend a few times with them, get a little talks in and blah, 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 blah. They know where they want to go with a person, you know what I'm saying? And it's only if that person going to kind of hold their hand and walk with them, or they going to try to shy back, you got to pull them, or whatever the case may be, to try to make, whatever situation you want to flourish, or water the seed that you're trying to grow, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I do agree with you. In this age, a lot of us shut ourselves short because we won't continue to pursue after we probably got the grant. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, listen, that's real. And I but I don't know. It could be a red flag, but it's like even the day of, like you took all that time, you
I
done.
heard the story. I heard the
Yes,
story.
it's
That's
it's
that's
like
really
it's
really crazy. That's not me. Don't give me all of that. But as the pursuer, you got to be, you know what I'm saying, okay with some things. But as the pursuee, you got to be way more aware of what that pursuer is doing. You know what I'm saying? Because what you said to me, it seems like he kind of accidentally hit you up. You know, like what
twice.
you doing
Like I don't
today?
think
Yeah,
twice.
what's up, bitch? Don't you dare ask me no shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So I would have been. That probably would have been the last time they talked to me. Me,
No,
you
no,
know
no.
what I'm
You know
saying?
what? But here's the thing though. Pimp. It's like for me, I try to give. Here's the thing with a lot of folks. As soon as I give them the benefit, here comes the doubt. Okay, so I say all that.
Exactly.
So, no, I say all that, like, and the worst part is, even though I've had men who have known that they stood me up, and then they still come back weeks or months later to be like, what you playing for? We supposed to go out. Sir, you blocked me on one app and you found me on another and you're still following me? And you still want to talk to me?
Correct.
I have had, you guys know how many men have done that to me? And I'm like, good grief. Good
I can
grief.
imagine. I can imagine.
Well,
It goes both ways. Again, you got women that's chasing these niggas the same
no,
way. You know, I've had that happen to me.
no, I know. I know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me hear what Mahogany has to say. Go ahead, Mahogany. Go ahead, hit us with your response as to what you think it is.
I wrote some stuff down. One is fear. Some people fear to be rejected. They go pursuing someone, playing a game. We're not hunting animals. We not should be hunting humans. If you can't be honest in what you wanting, then don't waste my time. Because this not game you playing with people emotions and lives. And my thing is that person should have called the same day. Said I'm not going to do it. I don't want to do it. Don't just wait the day of and then don't respond. Because that tells me, like Maya Angelou says, if people show you who they are, that's who they are. Bottom line, he's not real playing games. So X, because you better than that. You
Oh,
know,
X.
either you X, he gets the X. Like I'm Simon, he gets the X and move on because they're playing games. He playing games. We are not
I
in
didn't
the
think about that.
1970s. We're not on a pimp show. Be real with
Right.
people. I don't
Yeah.
like people playing games with my heart either. You know,
Yeah.
Either you want to or you don't. Because I'm gonna let you know
Right.
from the get go. No,
Mm-hmm.
I don't be that. If I
Yeah.
say I'm gonna come and be someplace, your word is your bond. He when people don't keep their word, they'll become liars. And the
Mhm.
devil, the father of all lies.
Come on.
So
Come
so
on.
let's go there. And if
Come
he's
on.
lying or she's lying, chop chop. Because they try to bait you in, pull you into, and I got them, then they don't show up. Well, this, like I told the kids, this is not TikTok. See, you ticking me off. TikTok. So I'm being ticked off because you're playing games. So don't come afterwards saying, oh, you playing game. Cut, chop, move on. Cause they playing games. And who want to be played with? We not children. We grown people. And if they're not
Mhm.
pursuing one with a relationship or you want to be intimate, then that's all going to be. And if you get a relationship and they start intimacy, that's all they want. Because most people don't want to be one rooms and want to settle down.
Mhm.
And like he said, it's both ways. But people play game, but no, I'm not a person like, child.
We talked about this on another story, another deal too about that. I didn't think about that. That's a good answer too. The fear stuff, and then people playing with your time. It really didn't register in my mind, but you're absolutely right. You know what I'm saying? In today's time, people put forth more of an effort to save anything but a relationship. You know what I'm saying? I think I
Yeah.
told y'all that, Kevin. You know what I'm saying? A nigga do anything to save their job, keep their car running, and do this and do that. But when the relationship in contrast, you know what I'm saying? Shit, they'll let that bitch go without a doubt. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no fight in it whatsoever. You feel me? And
As
the
long as they
pool
get
of
what they
things.
wanted.
I was just gonna say, once you get what you want with that person, the aspect of what they may desire on down the line is kind of gone if they ain't on the same type of time you on. You know what I'm saying? If I ain't on the same type of time of building the future and trying to have a relationship going towards marriage or doing this and doing that with it, my type of time might be just to hit you, like you say. If it's just intimacy, it's just intimacy. And once you let me get to that, and I done got that, you feel me? Where else is there to go in my mind? In your mind
Yeah,
is somewhere else to go, get married or whatever. I'm not married. I wear rings and stuff. I'm not married. You feel me? I done had people come out here at this show like this nigga telling me he wasn't married, this, that, and the other. He on here sporting his rings and this, that, and the other. Bitch, I ain't married. You know what I'm saying?
right.
You know, it's some things that I do. One of them was my father's ring. You know, I wear it just because of some other stuff as well. But either way it goes, it's the perception of things. So once you put yourself out there with a person, if you want to be real with them, you'll probably mess with a person for years and years and years and have a wonderful relationship. Just being fuck buddies, friends with benefits, homies. It don't even matter what you label it. You feel me? Before you get into something like, yeah, I want to be with you, baby. Let's do this and let's do that. And then when you link up, it's nothing beautiful about the situation. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not giving that person what they really wanted, and they're not receiving what they really want. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna always be some haywire going on. You know what I mean?
So
That's
what you're
it.
saying, the relationship would be about self. It's selfishness. What I can
Self.
get, what you can get, and that's it. So then, if that's all you want, then don't waste your time trying to pursue nobody. Stay by yourself.
That's it.
That's the best solution.
Absolutely.
Don't be going
What did
to
I say a
nobody
couple
to
times
play game with
ago?
people.
Shit.
Because I don't like game. I don't like people playing game with me. Because you
Yeah,
be cutting
absolutely.
nonsense. Chop, chop.
Hmm.
Well, let, let
Right
me let me get
on.
let me give my answer, and shout out to Jewel Cook for tuning in. I appreciate you, sis. Long time friend since the college days. So we go back like four flats on the Cadillac. So hey, shout out to Jewel. Let me say this. I think what it is as well, like you said, fear. I feel that it could be that man could be broke. Like I think, like think about it like this. He knows, okay, man. She's kind of like talking to her. She's a little higher maintenance than I thought. Like I done committed. She gonna probably want to go to like 5-star restaurant. She probably gonna want to sit here and do the works and all that type of stuff and whatever. But that's what I think it is. It has to be that, like, because why else? And then on top of that, she was just something to do for that moment. He was bored. It could be that
Maybe
as
that's
well.
he may already have somebody. A lot of time they
That's
already
it. But
have
you know
somebody
what?
else.
And this is why. Listen, this is why the two questions that I always ask when I first get to know people, and they like, I want to take you out, or oh, I want to meet you, is one, are you in a relationship with someone, or does somebody think that they're in a relationship with you? Those are two totally different questions.
Yep.
Okay,
Hmm.
and that,
Hmm.
I remember I had one guy who came on me and said, "Wow, he's really handsome." Met him out and about, and I asked him that question. He said, "You know what, man? I am with somebody." And I'm like, "No, go, man. Why? Right? Why?" But again, a lot of these people that if you don't ask, they ain't gonna tell.
They
That's
ain't gonna
how
tell
it
you.
is.
But
They,
the bad thing
that,
about it, they don't think they're lying. They don't think they're lying then. You see what I'm saying?
exactly,
You
Or
exactly.
they
ain't
may
gotta
not be
offer
married
the
to the
truth, but you
person
ain't gotta
either.
hide it either. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. That's it.
Maybe
That's it.
they
Well,
looking for somebody else beyond what they at.
I mean, yeah, that's it. Well, let me go
But
ahead
you
and
right.
go to question two. Let me hit question two, Mahogany. I'm gonna come to you first. So we all know that the human brain doesn't develop until roughly 25, but and I said this in parentheses, I really believe that it's really 30. Okay. With this being said, do you believe that there should be less and harsher prison sentences for any child under 25? And part B of that is, do you feel decisions uh you made better decision making once your brain fully developed? So if you need me to repeat the second part again, we can definitely do that. So yeah, go ahead.
Well, I guess what I'm learning, you read also in the Proverbs, it talks about what kind of child that you're dealing with. Even with children, work with children, you can see when a child wants to be successful. You can see when a child don't want to be successful. They just come on and play, have games and stuff. Their mindset, it's like you said, it's a mindset. Say if a child been in a grade, been in school for like 6 years, okay, in elementary, and they still can't read. Is that person going to read when they get 25? No one knows. But if they're doing the crimes, it's like a child who did. He put his sister in the oven. He went to jail. He killed baby sister. Something went in there and took over. So if you are if you something you don't people don't realize, it's all spiritual. Saints had to kill, steal, and destroy. If he can get your mind to do something like that, it will. If you don't know who the Lord is, if you ain't into God. But if you a person that say, well, I do what I want to do. Like with these guns, for instance, the setup was black men getting these guns, young people getting the guns. You can get them without any papers, but you shoot the wrong person, you're going to prison. And it's sad to say that, but you see people play these games on computers. Now they're getting real guns, and they shoot you. You look wrong, you gone. They catch them, they go into prison, and then how they gonna get out? I think if you know how to do the crime, you know how to do the time. Now I can see if you're a child didn't know and you shot somebody by accident, but if you pursuing a person and shooting them, run behind them, or shooting them, intentionally with wrong people, you're gonna go down with them. I don't. The development of the mind, like you said, it grows old. Like I'm 55, I'm learning. I'm still learning more.
Hey man, you ain't no 55. I don't believe it.
Yeah, I'll be 55, but I know I'm saying sometimes emotional thing will happen. You may a scared person will shoot you if you bother them or threaten them the wrong way. Then some people shoot you there for no reason. They can't say I didn't know what I was doing, but they be intentionally knowing what they doing. Especially when a child tell you what I do. I ain't doing anything wrong. What I do? It wasn't me. I didn't do it. And you like, then who am I talking to then? If like you said they might hadn't developed. Once you finish high school, once you get into high school era, you getting ready to go to being grown, right? So you making those decisions. Now I say a person that's like 16 to maybe 18, they're still children. Once you finish high school, you in that mode of making a decision on your own. You still young, but you making adult decisions.
Okay. What about with part B? Do you feel that you made better decisions once your brain had developed, or is it still an ongoing process?
But well, to answer that question, I think environment has a lot to play in that.
Hmm.
I raised in the country. I was around white people. We didn't go up and down the street. I had chores to do. I didn't have a bathroom in my house. So I wasn't exposed to a lot of stuff that you two may be exposed to. If you live in the city, you had a bathroom. When I lived in the country, I had an outhouse. I didn't have I had to go cut wood and make a fire in the stove to eat. So my mindset is old school. You know, my daddy didn't teach us how to beg. He taught us not to beg. You didn't work for it, you didn't get it. So I wasn't trained that way. Most people here for they entitled. Entitled. I can do what I want to do. But when you work for what you get, you earned it on your own. My dad had 10 kids. So my mindset is different. I learned more in the city because what I was one exposed to, I got exposed to. You understand what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like taking them my first shower in college. They didn't know what to do.
What was that like? What was that what was that?
I thought I was gonna
Describe that
drown.
moment.
Here I am taking a shower in college. Then I'm supposed to close your eye and I go, I'm drowning, I'm drowning. You know, in college. I was taking my first bath in a real bathtub at a hotel in Disney World on a senior trip. You know, not being exposed to what most people be exposed to. You know, it ain't about the mind, the development of the man. It's where you grow up at. Some people grew up in Chicago. Some people grew up in Atlanta. Some people grew up in a time that they can go to they all had to go to all black schools. So it's a mindset. My dad was born in 1938. He didn't finish school. He quit school because he worked in the field. My mother had to pick cotton. So the eras of different. These kids ain't got to do that. They're in the era of tablets.
Mhm.
Exposed to a lot of stuff that we weren't exposed to.
Mhm.
So part of it's developing of the mind, but it's also exposure where you live in your environment. Some kids around, they see guns and drugs all the time. They grown up before time, or their parents on drugs or do drugs, so they exposed to a lot of stuff that we do. They had the freedom to go cuss you out and you ain't gonna do nothing about it. Cuss
True.
you out, and I couldn't cut my parents out. You get slapped in the face. These kids go, what? What I do? What can you do about it? Nothing.
You get shit slapped at you real quick. I've been quiet through a lot of what you've been saying, but I relate to a lot. I was raised in the country too, fam. So believe me, I know everything you're talking about. You're a few years older than me, but I had this conversation a lot here recently. It comes about a lot for some reason. How we just miss so much, with the evolution of whites and blacks and the things we had to, and go through and endeavor. You know what I'm saying? And I just thank God that I wasn't in that particular time, and I know how people had to deal with a lot of shit, man. It's really crazy, it's really crazy. I got a lot of points on what you were saying, though. Trust me. Go ahead,
Go ahead. If you
You
have
know,
anything else you want to say, Mahogany, if not, I can
yeah.
pass it on to
Cause
Pimp.
see, like me being 25 years old, I was I turned 26. I went to the military, So I got my first license when I was 26. More people get their cards 18, 16, but I get my license until I was 22 years old. So I got away from my hometown and went to lived in Statesboro. I became homeless, got a job at McDonald's and working, and I grew up. Being away from home grew me up. I was not the same person going back home. When I went home, God gave me a car and I was able to drive my car out of there. 'Cause my daddy used to fuss all the time. We were so at it. It was different. You trying to fit in a household with 8 kids, and you and your daddy didn't get along. So for me, being away from home helped me to grow up better and see things and learn things because I was sheltered, in the country. I'm still learning because then you deal with people who from the streets, it's a different story. Or deal with people who do drugs, or it's different when you don't do that. And people think you judging them, but you see how it affects them. We're teachers of each other. It ain't always at the school or in the book. People teach you from just watching and you going, what? Huh? You know, we teaching one another something, good or bad. And then at the end of the day, it's back to the choices. Do I want to entertain that and go with them or stay alone by myself? My dad was a person to himself we thought. He was friendly with other people, but he wasn't like that with us. Same for me. I like a lot of people, but when I was an outcast as a child growing up, when I grew up, it had to go to counseling and get my mind together because I felt things were wrong with me. But I'm still able to go get counseling if I need it because that development, you keep developing. You know how old people say, keep living, you keep living.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
all have growing pain. We grow into different stages in our lives. So you still growing, developing. Look at Jimmy Carter, 100 years old. I ain't got to that age. They've been around a long time. They know seen stuff we
though.
hadn't seen.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I think we always developing and growing if you're open to grow.
Yep. That's true. Okay, well, let me say this before I pass it to Pimp. Since you say you coming up on 55, you get free pancakes at IHOP. So let me come with you because I like pancakes. All right, so Pimp.
Still,
Pimp, same question. Do you want me to repeat the question to you? Or do you got it?
Uh, Shit. The age factor about going to jail, the brain factor about growing in the decision making process. Correct.
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct.
All right.
Basically, like, do you believe
I'm
that
gonna
there
give
should be
it. I'm gonna,
less harsher prison sentences for children under 25?
Now we gonna get that one real quick, and get out the way. But I'm gonna say a lot of quick points, so y'all kind of put the recorders on or whatever you gotta do so you don't miss it because it's gonna go fast. You feel me? All right. Now, when you 25, you talking about like homie said you doing a crime or whatnot. You know what you're doing. So shit, if the law of the land said you got to do something, that's what you got to do. Point blank. You know what I'm saying? You know what allows you to grow. I don't want to hear that shit about developing minds and all this and that. You know right from wrong. Your ass ain't gonna go run out in front of 18 wheeling and that bitch pop you. You know what I'm saying? So you know what's
Yeah.
real and what's not. So don't play with that. So we ain't even talking about that type of time. All right. So the mind development process, I've done research on this myself personally, but at the age of 35, a man's brain process, thought process kind of stops or slows down so much that he's stuck in that age for a moment. You know what I'm saying? Um, while a female continues to persist to grow and do what it. Okay, so basically what I'm saying, at 45, you got a woman who's thinking 45, 50-ish. But you got a 45-year-old man who's still thinking 35, 36. Okay? And when I really first found out about this, it blew me away because I was like, nah, that shit ain't, you know what I'm saying, woo the woo. But now I'm at, like I said, I made 50 this year. And I can really state in my mind, I have some young tendencies that I think a lot, and I don't think there's nothing wrong with it. You know what I'm saying? Like music in cars, wheels on cars, stuff like that. That's really in a younger state of mind. You know what I'm saying? But we'll condition ourselves to feel like ain't nothing wrong with doing it. You know what I'm saying? Which is really not to me. But I mean, it's still in a younger state of mind. There's a lot of other things you can do with that money than to be trying to do that. You know what I'm saying? But again, if that's what you want to do with your money, you see what I'm saying? So there's so many ways you can look at different things. So we'll leave that for what it is. Just know that when you're dealing with a man, that man, at about 35, 36, when you a mature woman, you starting to prepare for your future and shit, he's still playing for the present. You preparing for the future, but he playing for the present. So he'll catch up with you, but it's gonna be about 5 or 10 years if y'all can make it. You know what I'm saying? So that's just that. Shut up, London. Okay, so now you got the factor of these kids and growing up. He said something about a child don't learn how to read, and then something about 25 can they read a book or something. You know what I'm saying? I can't remember exactly what you said, but let me educate everybody on this. In foreign countries like China, they ask a child out the gate, what you want to do? If you want to be the people, the ones that build the buildings, whatnot. You want to be a doctor, you want to be a nurse, whatever you want to be. As soon as you're capable and able to mentally put that in and go with it, they send you there. There's no such thing as the rest of the stuff in school. They don't teach them ABCs and 1, 2, 3. They teach them exactly what they want to do. Okay, and you can research this yourself. If you want to be a nurse, at 8, 9, they probably doing nurse material. They're not teaching them this, that, and the other. But at the same time, if you want to be an accountant, then they teaching you nothing but numbers. So you ain't gonna know shit about how to read no book either. You know what I'm saying? It's just some things that's just how they do. But look at how their kids are coming up. Look at how their business are, their infrastructure is. It's all behind the fact that that's exactly what they do. They put more time into exactly what's important than what's not. You look at us over here in the United States, we go to school for 12 years, you graduate, you go for 4 more years, if you can graduate, then you got to go 2 to 4 more years, if you can graduate, all to pay somebody else to not work in the field that you did all this shit for, and owe somebody for the rest of your life. And owe somebody for the rest of your life. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's really not there. You know what I mean? It's not there whatsoever. So, in my opinion, when you're growing up, your mind will tell you what's right and what's wrong at a certain age. And when you know what's right and what's wrong, you should be treated accordingly. The Bible says you have to live by the law of the land. So if the law of the land said 18, you to shot somebody, you get life, then that's what the fuck you get. I can't change that. You know what I'm saying? That's just what the law of the land is. So you got to start worrying about who wrote the law of the land now. Because the law of the land it's biased. I don't care how you put it. Okay, it's to deter some people from doing what they want to be, and it's to put some people from being what they don't want to be. You understand what I'm saying? So you really start thinking about some other things then. But once you get to an age where you can decipher right and wrong and this, that, and the other, then your decision making process had to change. Did I start making better decisions as I grew up? In certain areas, I did. I started making very better decisions in certain areas, very much. And then in other areas, I kind of still faltered a little bit. I'm not gonna say I didn't. I grew up out of the streets real fast. I grew up out of doing some bullshit real fast. But I can say some matters of the heart that kind of drug along a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I think some things that hurt me inside a little bit, it kind of took me along the way to get away from that wrong decision making process. But you know what I'm saying? I don't know if I'm saying it clearly enough or whatever,
Nice.
but
You saying
I
it.
guess
You
things.
saying it.
Okay, so when I'm saying, right? So, but as I'm growing, like I said, I'm 50 now. At certain point in time, you got to say it's enough of all of that. And then you have to start stopping, thinking before you speak, stopping, thinking before you react. You got an issue going on. Yeah, just like you can plot this motherfucking plan to go rob this nigga, you can plot a plan to make the money. You know what I'm saying? Everything, ain't got to be, trust me, if I gotta get it, I'm gonna get it. Okay. And my mind state was shit by any means necessary. And it's still there. But it ain't to go rob no nigga to get it, ain't in the equation no more. You know, that won't happen. If it take me a year to do what it used to take me a month to do, then so be it. I pray to God in a year I can still enjoy what I'm trying to do. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, and that's just what it is. I realize now that in my decision making process, my future is at risk. And then my generational curse is at risk. You see what I'm saying? If I want to break the generational curse of what's going on in my family, it's got to start somewhere. So I
Yeah.
want my son to do different, and I want his son to do different, and their son to do different. But where is it gonna start? When I die, I'm gonna be in my grave wishing my son start the shit. Give me my flowers while I'm here. Tell everybody the same thing. You know what I'm saying? When I'm dead and gone, don't cry about shit. Tell me I'm good to you now. Tell me how you care about me now. Look out for me now. Do what you're gonna do for me now. Because when I'm dead and gone, I ain't gonna feel, I ain't gonna know, I ain't gonna see. You know what I'm
That's
saying? And all that works with everything. So yeah, the mind's a tear thing to waste. And if you can do nothing else, meditate.
All right.
Meditate.
All
yeah.
right. All
Okay.
right. Let me go ahead and give my response. And then Pimp, we gonna end us out with a word and that let that be that. So I will say this. Well, let me go answer part B first before I answer with part A. Like I agree with Pimp. In certain ways, my when my brain did develop, um, it was certain things I say, you know what, I got so much better and I'm not gonna do anymore. One of the things I had to make sure to do was not going back and forth with folks. That is wasted energy. Like
Yeah.
it is getting going to bed still huffing and puffing about the situation. Like I'm more so like this. I'm gonna let you say what you guys say. I'll say what I gotta say. Let you say what you guys say. That's it. Because at that point, I already know where you stand. Right? I don't need to go back and forth with people. Uh, it's not necessary with that. A lot of things that I will say as well. Um, my self worth. I didn't have really good self worth, so there was a lot of stuff that I did because my self esteem was very low. Because I didn't know have my self worth, it really affected my brain development decisions. Is what I will say. Now I remember there was a woman. This is she's been around for like 15 plus years. Her story. Her name is Centoya Long Brown. She was at the time. I think she was probably. I don't know where. I feel like it was somewhere in the South, maybe Louisiana. But she was basically teenage runaway. Ended up being a prostitute, forced into prostitution. Human trafficking. She ended up killing one of the Johns just so she can get away. Right? I listen. I'm with her at that point. Now that's just me. I'm with her at the point because it's a child. She was like 14, right? 14 years old. However, Somehow she ended up getting caught, and they basically were going like, "You have life in prison." Again, she's 14. She's just basically trying to survive. And after her case raised, like it was on YouTube, it got brought back up. Her case got brought back up. She got clemency. Um, and now she's married. Last I checked, it's been I haven't been on her case in some years. She's married. She is doing so much better, and she spent 15 years of her life in prison. But it still was sad because it's like, again, take it from that type of position. If you are a child, she's a child, right? You are being abused at home. Yes, she may know right from wrong. She's being abused at home. She
Right.
runs away because of abuse. And then she ends up watching these people
She
down the
chose the
street.
lesser of two evils. You choose the lesser of two evils.
And that's what I was
Yeah,
saying
Whatever happened
earlier.
to me,
In the
whatever happened to me is
environment
probably better than
that
what's
they
but
going
put,
on right
hold on
now.
one second. Hold on. Go ahead, Mahogany. What were you gonna say? You said whatever happened. Go ahead.
and like I was saying earlier, the environment plays a lot in what's going on. Like you were saying about her, we don't know what people going through. And that environment dictates sometimes what's going on. Like you said, being abusive. But I want to try to get beat up. I want to get beat up. And then she still had to turn around and serve time to try to save her own life. Like you said, people, and then it's like, but guess what? She still killed somebody. Just like when David killed, had Uriah killed, in the Bible, and God took his first son with Bathsheba because they
Hmm.
came wrong. But
Yeah.
God didn't hate him. God still made him king,
Come
and
on.
he never
He
had
was a man
Solomon.
after God's own heart.
Right. So God still made a way for him, even with Moses. Moses killed a man, and God chose him to go free his people. So we all have our issues and do stuff wrong. Who are we to judge? Who am I? What stone I can go throw at who?
Yeah.
No one, because you don't know they, like you said, I don't know their story. We all walk in books. They got something to tell, and it help me. It help you. Who am I to judge? Say, well, you shouldn't did that. I wasn't there.
That's it. That's it. Let me
Me.
go ahead, Pam, go ahead, and then I'm gonna say what I gotta say, and then
Just one quick thing right on the
go ahead.
Bible story. Give me one person out the Bible that was all had themselves together that God used to glorify His name. One. One person in the Bible that had their shit together that God used to glorify His name. Murderers, rapists, killers, what else? Thieves, smugglers, whatever you want to call it. But those were His chosen people that did something for other folks. Ain't.
Yeah, the only
Those
one
are the people
the
in the
only one
Bible
that
that
refer
you're
was
talking about.
Elijah.
Those are the ones He used, correct?
Yeah, now Elijah was taken. He had Elijah. Elijah, he took him, came to chariot fire, took him on out of here.
Hmm.
But people question when I say that, they say Job.
Elijah,
Yeah, Elijah. But they
Elijah
will
was
say
taken
Job.
in the
I had to
chariot,
question Job,
gone
but
on
they
out of here.
will.
He went bye.
Exactly, but that's a whole other story we get into. But since we went to the Bible thing, I said I want to let me let you know that that ain't nothing because of one person did this and did that, and God chose them. God chose everybody that was all fucked up and made them real. You know what I'm saying? So
That's right.
trust me,
Who do we serve?
let that be in your mind when you're moving around. God got something for everybody, not just somebody who you think right.
Yeah.
All right, come
And
on,
you
Kim.
and you and you see recently a lot of people have been in jail. Man, they said he killed his wife. One man was in jail, couldn't find out. Look, they didn't even do it. Been there for like I said 46 years, and finally being set free. I put on my Facebook like, look, man, been telling the truth all this time and served 46 years in prison. Boy, he
You
been
can't
telling
get
the
that
truth
back.
all this time. He didn't kill his
Can't
wife.
get
I
that
didn't kill his
back.
wife. And DNA proof he didn't do it. That's sad, but guess what? He came out, but still he served the time for what he didn't do. So some people don't do crimes,
No,
and
that
guess
is
what?
true.
A lot of our
That no
brothers
that
in there.
no that is true. That is true. I'm last my last like I say last few points, and then I'm gonna say hand it to Pimp. He's gonna take us out. But no, like I said, something in that situation, it's one of those things where I honestly believe, not saying give her a slap on the wrist, maybe a couple years. maybe no more than 5, something in that manner, but not let her spend the rest of her life. But unfortunately, that's just how the justice system is. It is. I've heard of so many different stories where I'm like, you didn't have to give them, throw the whole book at them in that sense. It was it's so many different things that have just happened. There was another. I'm gonna say this one other story, and I'm gonna hit us with one more point, and like I said, pass the pimp. Um, there was a woman I came across this video years ago, and I just came back up on the video recently. But this one woman, she actually spent the rest of her life in prison because she was getting sexually abused by everybody in her household. We're talking like so many different people in her household. 4, 5, 6 people. Who knows? Adults. She was getting abused for years, and she got tired of it. So she had, again, she's 14, like 13, 14. She had this idea in her mind to say, you know what? I'm going to start a house fire just so I can get everybody out. If it's a fire, everybody runs out the house. And that way it will be my great escape. The fire started, but it got too out of control. She saw what was going on, and she's like, oh my gosh. She felt remorse for the same people who abused her. She went back into the house to save those same people who abused her because she realized the fire got out of control. Everybody died up in that house, and she had a whole bunch of burns, and they said, you're going to prison for the rest of your life because you killed everybody you started the fire. Right? And I'm like, what? But hey, whatever. Now let me say this as well. Dating wise, um, my brain development, it was not the best. I just used to just date any and everybody, and had these unrealistic expectations. And also, I feel like it's best to start really fully dating, like you go on dates when people see what you like. But really trying to commit at like 20 and 21. You just left high school, you're kind of in college, like, oh, I'm gonna marry you. No, you don't really know what you want. You don't know what you like. Really start at 30. I think life is better when you hit 30, right? And dating wise and everything else like that. But as far as like I say, my question answer, harsher. It just depends on what's going on. It depends on the severity. Were you raised by wolves? There was a kid who was a feral child. He literally was raised by a pack of wolves. So what are we gonna do there? Like, if his instinct is to sit here and bite people, can we sit here and throw the book at him? No. Pep, lead us out with a quick word, and then we'll see you all next week.
That's right. That's right. So, on one end of things, we talked about the female deal and the man and woman thing. So we'll say that he can find the wife finds a good thing. Okay. Make sure when you in search, if that's what you're in search for, that you're asking God to reveal with those qualities in that woman that you desire to have exist, and that she can see the qualities in you as well. Know that it's not going to work overnight. Know that it's going to take a lot of sacrifice, a lot of giving and taking, and this, that, and the other for a real relationship headed towards marriage to flourish like that. Okay, it's not going to happen overnight. So if that's what you're looking for, know it's going to take a lot of work. And on the other end of things, this mind thing, know that, like my man said, that the devil comes to steal, kill, deprive, destroy, all those things, and it starts here. A problem may be created between two people, but once you put something in your mind, it don't matter what that person does to apologize, to try to get over it, to get through it, or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? That problem ain't gonna lie within you and them anymore. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna lie between you and them anymore. It's gonna lie between you and yourself. Because that person may apologize 1,000 times, and that apology still is not going to matter because you got it in your mind. Whatever the situation is so much bigger than you and that person that you don't want to feel this. You don't want to feel like it look like. You know what I'm saying? So that's not that. So and while we're going through our daily things, my prayer is that the spirit of wrong decision making is binded up. That we as black men, we make our decisions better with our relationships and our children and the things that we do on a daily basis. I pray right now that the spirit of evil decision making is binded up, and that the enemy has no control over the things that we decide to say, the things that we decide to do that hinder us in so many ways, Father. We just want to say thank you for the fact that we know better, and we know that enemies are attacking, and we see them before they come. So therefore, we know what to do when they surface. And we just want to give you the praise, honor, and glory, and thanks for that. So whenever you're doing your daily routine, just make sure that you know if your mind stays at play, that you put God first, and then and ain't no way that you make a decision that you go wrong. Okay, and that's it.
That's it. That's it.
Let the church say
Listen,
amen.
I
Let
appreciate
the
you
church say
guys. I
amen.
I
Okay.
appreciate you guys. Thank you for everybody who tuned in, for the ones who stayed with us throughout the entire time. Thank you to even Pimp's dog who wanted to make a cameo in in the video. He's like, hey, listen, you're gonna hear me one way or the other, okay? So listen, please subscribe, like, comment, share. If you guys have any suggestions, any questions you want to ask, we're free to wanted to hear it. Thank you so much,
Amen.
Mahogany. You made a grand appearance. Learned so much about you. I appreciate you, Pimp, as always. And you know what?
Y'all,
With that saying, y'all be blessed.